Just let us know when, Chase, and we will start talking.
All right, I believe you guys are live. I don't think I did the intro because I don't quite know how.
All good. Chat, let us know if you can hear us. Terry, I think we're live.
Hello.
I think we're live. We're moving a little slower than Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams at the end of that game yesterday afternoon.
We're on an Eberflus beginning. Hello, welcome to Woodward and Main Street on not a Lions victory Monday, but a Lions victory Friday.
Friday, baby. After Thanksgiving. We're the first people to celebrate this in 8 years.
Wonderful.
How's it feel?
It's all right. I mean, it was, I guess the message I got from everybody afterwards was, what did we just see? What happened? I think the Lions were even stunned. Were they like, is the game over?
They were. They were confused too. Do you see the Bears players in the locker room after answering questions? They didn't know what just happened either.
They're pissed.
Wouldn't you?
I would be. Now, here's some of the comments you heard from the Bears players. We, the players, did enough to win today. That's code for our coaches messed up.
Yes.
Maybe Caleb Williams messed up, but he's a rookie. But there's no way Eberflus can survive this.
Right.
It may not happen today because he's got a press conference at 9 a.m. today, but at some point before the 2025 season, he will lose his job. And it will be because of the 6-game losing streak, which could continue, but it's going to be because of this clock management thing.
Yeah. And this is just another example of the coaching losing the game for them. Yeah, there are players that have to do their job and execute and stuff. The Tyreek Stevenson Hail Mary when he's pumping up the Commanders crowd and not paying attention to the actual football game going on. That's a coaching. Yeah,
I mean, Dan Campbell, for all we make fun of him, and he does silly things, but he's got his team focused. And as I said several times, he's got them playing smart. And I think yesterday, I thought the Lions were out of character with some things.
They were,
and it cost them. But for the most part, it's a disciplined team. They play very hard and they're smart.
Yeah. You got to think, again, this is 3 days after they just had a dominant 24-6 win over the Colts, but a physical win over the Colts. They lost some players. Having a game 3 days later, Thanksgiving week. And yes, the Bears went through everything too. By the second half, by the fourth quarter, they've lost even more players in that game yesterday. They seem to just run out of steam, and they snuck out of Ford Field with that W.
Right.
They get credit. They were winning, and the Bears screwed up, but a little luck had to be on their side.
You know what? For 3 straight games, the Lions have played the Bears, and I thought the Lions lost all 3 games, but they're 2-1 in those games.
Isn't that crazy?
They lost 28-13 last year, and then there's the other game they were down 14 with like 4 minutes, or 12 with 4 minutes to go, and ended up rallying. That felt like a loss. Yesterday felt like it could have been a loss.
Maybe should have been. The way they were moving down the field, the Bears at the end, you kind of expected them to score or at least get a field goal.
Right.
After that Kindle Vildor penalty
on
4th and 14.
Got Vildor again.
We did. To his defense, he played a much, much better game overall.
But you know what his big play was?
What?
He was the one that got picked by Clement, so he got a big penalty.
That was huge.
Right.
That was huge. That's the play before. Was it the play or 2 plays before the pass interference penalty on him? He was the one who got picked on the DJ Moore 30-yard first down. We got the game up there, the Turkey Day Bear Scare, it says on Fox 2. It really was. I mean, tale of 2 halves.
Right. There's so much to talk about this game. The one thing that annoyed me is how bad the Lions were in the red zone. You could have put this game away in the first half, and then, maybe we see Hendon Hooker in the second half. But I'm going to attack one of your boys.
Let it fly.
I think Jack Campbell gave the Bears emotional he fired up the Bears
Jack?
by hitting Caleb Williams. That was a cheap shot.
Oh, that one on the sideline?
Yes.
You think that was a cheap shot?
I think he was deliberately trying to go for his knees. I think he was trying to injure him.
No chance.
Look.
No chance,
he
Terry.
Went down there he was like a torpedo.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's the meat missile. The turkey missile yesterday.
No, well, yeah, he's a turkey missile, but he tried to hurt Caleb Williams.
No, he didn't. He tried to deliver pain. Not hurt. Not
pain is hurting.
No. He was aiming for midsection.
No, he wasn't.
He was aiming for midsection, and he was a missile.
He may have hit midsection, but he was going for the knees.
No, he hit hip. He hit hip. He led shoulder to midsection. He was going right at Caleb Williams, who was kind of unsure if he's going to run out of bounds. And then Caleb stops. He starts to slow up while Jack is already shoulder
in position to hurt his knees.
In position to hit him in the midsection. So when Jack has to change course, it gets a little lower, and it's directly at his hip.
But he wanted to go lower.
He wanted to hit him legally. You hit him higher. You go higher, you're gonna get fined. You're gonna get he's gonna get a concussion or something. Caleb, moral of the story. You can say what you want about Jack Campbell. Caleb Williams has to just run out of bounds.
Moral of the story.
What?
Whatever he did, he fired up the Bears.
Maybe.
The Bears were crap into that play.
Maybe. You might be right there. That doesn't mean he did it on purpose. That doesn't mean he was trying to hurt Caleb Williams. Whether that would help the Bears out long term or not, help the Lions out long term or not, we're not rooting for injury. We're not hoping for anyone to get injured. Neither is Jack Campbell. That dude, all he thinks about is football.
He thinks about football and hurting Caleb Williams.
I don't think so. Honestly, we want Caleb Williams out there.
Why?
Because he blows.
Caleb Williams does not blow.
He sometimes he's good.
Oh, sometimes he blows. He's a rookie. He's a rookie dude.
Exactly.
Rookies make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Rookies are uneven. That's any rookie quarterback. We can go through the great Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
He sucked his first year.
League record in interceptions.
I think he had 27.
Jesus.
I'm going to say just about all.
Yeah.
Rookie quarterbacks are bad.
CJ Stroud's an outlier last year, and he's having a sophomore slump this year. Jaden Daniels has had a couple good games, had a couple stinkers. Bo Nix. You're right. He is a rookie quarterback. Ideally, okay, Caleb Williams does have potential. That second half he looked like a completely different quarterback than the first half. The goal for the Lions, we just want that whole coaching staff and that whole formula, the core of that team to just stay right together. They're a joke.
Yeah, and
they're a joke.
You know, people say, well, the Bears are a good team.
No, they're not.
Here's why. They do just enough to lose.
That's
not a good team. You know who else used to do that? The Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Just enough to lose. They would make plays. They would, scamper for 50 yards. They make big defensive plays. But then when it was time, what I call nut busting time, that's when they fell apart. And the Bears have done it against Green Bay, against the Commanders, and against the Lions.
Yeah. Rodney Jenkins Productions in the chat. Terry is a legend. Craig Alspa says, Broder, I agree with Terry. Or no, Broder, I agree. Terry, no. Oh, he's with me on the Jack Campbell take. That's right. Oh, Dante151. Terry, Caleb Williams was a runner on that play when Campbell hit him.
It was true. But he went after the knees. He went at an aggressive way after his knees. He looked like he wanted to hurt him. And I know that's your boy, and you're going to be grinning and, oh, my Jack Campbell. I love Jack Campbell.
He's not really my boy. That's Kool-Aid's boy. I love Jack Campbell, don't get me wrong. I've been on the Malcolm Rodriguez bandwagon. Hate to see him go down. But Terry, Simo313, who actually has a comment from earlier before the show started I want to ask you about, but he says, nope, he turned his shoulder. Could have hit his knees with the helmet. Caleb did a little juke, and yeah, Broder got it.
Nah, bro.
Thank you, Simo313. Thank you.
Look, I just saw it again. It was obvious what he wanted to do. I don't care about the jukes. I don't care he didn't go out of bounds. It was obvious he wanted to hurt this man. He wanted to go at his knees, and that's a very dangerous thing. Then why were the Bears players so upset?
They're just looking for a reason to get some energy because they can't get it
they
from their
knew
coaching
it was a
staff.
bullshit play.
It was questionable.
Now we got questionable.
Well, no,
All right.
it looked bad from in real time, but you put all the factors together. That's not something Jack Campbell does.
Do you know why it looked bad?
Why?
Because it was bad.
No, because Caleb Williams looks like a little girl squirming on the ground. It's like, run out of bounds, dude. That's all you have to do. He's trying to play hero ball. That's what he did at USC.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks.
You can't be a hero with fingernail polish on.
He probably thought, Jack Campbell will make a professional tackle. He won't be a heat-seeking missile at my knees. That's what he was trying to get. He was trying to bust him up, bro.
Yeah.
And it fired up the Bears.
That play... Well, I have a problem with quarterbacks who do that, and strategically, it works. Caleb Williams did it later in the game too, where it looked like he was going out of bounds, and at the very last second, he slowed up, threw it to DJ Moore, who scampered forward for a first down. I think there's got to be some rule, maybe not even just for quarterbacks, for everybody. Brian Branch getting flagged in Indianapolis, that was BS too. Like, if you're going to go out of bounds, you have to go out of bounds. None of this fake walking out of bounds shit. I see in the reflection Chase wants to say something.
Chase Winovich.
The way that you can signal for a fair catch, would you want someone when they're near the sideline to throw their arm up as a signal I'm going out of bounds?
No.
But I agree. That's taken because then it's why wouldn't you try to fight for the extra yard? But I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Come up with ideas.
I don't know the solution. I see where your head's at. I don't know the solution. I don't know if a fair catch is it, but you're right. It's once you what's the right word I'm looking for? You acknowledge that you're going out of bounds. Play over. Earlier in the chat, Terry, Simo313 said, I don't know if he's serious or joking, but a lot of people are serious. So I'm not going to attack Simo. But he said, should they cut Jamison Williams today or try to get a fifth-rounder for him in their offseason? Referencing the little ball toss to Tyreek Stevenson.
You're going to cut a guy for tossing the ball. No, hell no. The guy is finally playing. And now you want to get rid of his ass.
No.
Why?
I don't.
Everything Jamo does is little shitty little stuff. It's nothing major. He hasn't beaten up anybody. He hasn't robbed a bank. He doesn't use drugs that we know of. Here's what Jamison Williams has done. He made a bet in his hotel room.
Not on football.
Not on football. He gave kids $100 who were selling bottles of water. Okay, boy. Oh, my goodness.
4th of July? Lit off fireworks?
Oh, he lit off fireworks on the 4th of July. Oh, my God. My goodness. And what was the last one? Oh, he used...
A gun.
Huh?
A gun that he didn't use was in the car.
He had a gun in his car. And now, here's what I'm told about America.
America!
Second Amendment. Don't take away my gun. Let me have my gun all the time. Blam, blam, blam. Which goes back to my belief that black people don't have Second Amendment rights. But he had his paperwork. Right, but that now you put all these little things, and they're kind of little tic-tac things. So now you want to cut the dude. Now you want to cut him now that he's playing well. You want to cut him now that he is blowing the top off of our defenses like we thought he would do. He's actually running patterns now. He's actually a dangerous receiver.
Yeah.
Now you want to cut him. Hell no.
Yeah, no chance.
Look, dude, NFL locker rooms have bad dudes in them. Much worse than Jamo.
Much worse.
They beat up their women. They use drugs. They disrespect fans. They do a lot of stuff that's really stupid stuff.
Yeah, they're dirty.
It's dirty.
Jamo's not dirty.
Is just a kid having too much fun sometimes. It was nothing major.
No, nothing violent off the field. Nothing major on the field yet. Now, plays like that, you got to learn from. Championship teams can't be making those plays.
According to Dan Campbell, he apologized to the team unsolicited.
And you could tell from Dan Campbell's body language how he said that to the media after the game. How he talks about Jamo in general now is a complete 180 from what it was a year ago, 2 years ago, as he's coming back from his injury, as he's getting suspended, as these little things continue to pop up.
We have to gain trust.
Yes.
He has to gain our trust.
Do you think he has it? He has it now.
He's got it. You know, I'm sure they're looking side-eyed like, Jamo,
come on, dude.
Do we have to do stuff like that? Mm-hmm. But that was he did to the guy that was taunting the fans against the Commanders and messed up that game.
Yeah, you know that Tyreek Stevenson was chirping at him too, and Jamo, you got to be strong enough to just hang on to the ball and not flip it at him. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he thought Tyreek Stevenson would just catch the ball. He threw it and it hit him in the face. He's got his helmet off. But you could see Tyreek Stevenson, just like in Washington, he was late to the ball. He throws his hands up last minute. I think Jamo thought he was going to catch the ball, and it's nothing. They're just chirping. All right, dude.
That's not supposed to toss a ball at anybody.
I know, and that's why he got flagged. Mm-hmm. And it was a big flag. But what makes this team different, especially in comparison to the Bears coaches and their coaching staff, it's that interaction with Antoine Randall on the sideline. Mm-hmm. He put that to rest so fast. But they have a relationship where Jamo, they can have a little back and forth, a little fire between each other. Jamo was defending himself for some reason or trying to explain himself, but Antoine Randall after a point was like, no, like, you're wrong, shut up, dude.
Right.
Go sit down. They're fine today. Those two are fine. That locker room is fine. The coaching staff's cool with Jamo. That's what makes this team different than the Eberfluses of the world. They have no control over DJ Moore and his body language after every drop pass, or Keenan Allen having a massive penalty at the end of that game that didn't end up hurting them, but could have. They got former NFL players on this coaching staff like Antoine Randall. There's just a respect between the players. They can have those heated moments. Something like that is how Jamo grows and learns, and is not going to do that again.
True. Now, here's what I've been told covering the NFL. There are 5 to 6 major confrontations on the sideline during every game in the NFL. Sometimes the camera catches them, sometimes the camera doesn't. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
When you get all dudes all swolled up, I know you call it testosterone and whatever, but I call them swolled up because they all like want to kill somebody, and then it's going to be conflict.
Conflict can be good. Mm-hmm. You can learn from conflict. You can become closer from conflict. Aaron Glenn jawing out Kirby Joseph at the Titans game a couple games ago. You saw him ripping into Kirby.
Right.
Going over on the Microsoft Surface and them going back. And Kirby cleaned up his mistakes, his game. That's what this team does.
Well, this is a grown man's league. You can't be soft.
No.
There's fights. They fight on every play.
Yeah.
There's somebody fighting on every play, and sometimes that's going to spill over into the sidelines because the Lions now are seeking perfection. Mm-hmm. They want to win the rest of their games. They want to win 2 or 3 playoff games, however much it's going to be. So they can't lose a game.
Right.
From this point on.
Especially because the Packers and the Vikings just keep getting handed these games. What do the Lions got to do to have another team step up and beat their conference rivals?
Well, the Miami Dolphins don't like the cold, so you know they're going to blow that game.
Yeah.
But I've never seen this. A team 11-1, and every game you got to win. You can't. But you know what?
It's wild.
Danger, Green Bay at Ford Field next week. Lions going to play like shit in that game. Watch.
They are missing a lot of people. Before we talk about those injuries, we're about halfway through the show, which I think is the perfect time to ask you, Terry Foster, what'd you think of that halftime show, Shabuzi?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No.
Took the halftime off, get some food, some turkey?
Yeah, I was up in line trying to get my food.
All right, that was your chance?
Shabuzi.
Okay. Well, he was better than Jack Harlow.
Okay,
yeah.
Well.
I think is that enough?
So what'd you think of Shabuzi?
He was okay. I like him. I thought it was good. I like that he actually sang and he played it was a much better performance. The stage looked great. The dancers, the cheerleaders, it was what a Thanksgiving performance should be. It wasn't some huge production, but it was 50 times better than Jack Harlow last year. Remember with the little blow-up igloo tent thing?
Oh, yeah.
Mess.
That wasn't good.
Mess. Well, we are halfway through. I saw a couple people in the chat. Robert McVeigh was wondering, I think it might be his first time tuning in. Who's the dude in the yellow shirt? We got some new people in the chat. It feels like maybe some Bears fan. My name is Matt Broder, but really, this is Terry Foster, the Detroit sports media legend. You've been doing this for decades. Happy to have you on the show. This is Woodward and Maine. We cover the Detroit Lions on game day and the day after the game, which we just saw the Lions move to 11-1 after a 23-20 victory.
And every game is a must-win.
Every game is. We were talking 16-1 over the last 2 weeks. Does that change at all with some of these injuries that continue to pile up?
Yeah, I just can't imagine the Lions going 16-1.
It's going to be hard.
And, you can't blame them. Part of it is the injuries. The other thing is normally after Thanksgiving they get 10 days off. This time they only get 7.
Yeah.
And they're playing a division rival who I always tell you, these Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions, they all hate each other.
Yeah. Demon Dice in the chat says Bears always play the Lions tough. Or the Lions always – it's always a game. It's ugly or it's a shootout. It's always close.
Right. And yesterday shouldn't have been.
No. They dominated the first half.
Right.
What was it, 23 minutes of time of possession?
To 7.
To 7.
Right.
But they were only up 16.
It was like 259 yards to 34, something ridiculous like that. 18 first downs to 2.
And 18 first downs to Chicago Bears' 19 offensive plays run.
Right.
One of the most wild first half stat lines, but it flipped completely in the second half.
Right.
They went away from Gibbs? Why'd they stop running with Gibbs?
I can't tell you that. There's a bunch of stuff I can't tell you now.
I don't get it. Someone in the chat, I lost it. I was looking. They were like, they thought maybe it was, Ben Johnson was getting a little cute, trying to get Jared Goff some second half stats again and abandoning the run game a little bit. You don't think they could be punishing Jahmyr Gibbs for the first half fumble?
No. Jahmyr Gibbs has earned the right not to be punished.
I agree. But you don't think, that had no factor in it? They just...
No, I just think they screwed up. They got away from it.
He was... Shoot, I got it pulled up. He was averaging 9.7 yards per carry.
Right.
9 carries, 87 yards. When he touched the ball, he would get 10 yards. Why go away from that?
Hey, you know what? It was like a replay of the Tampa game.
Good point, yeah.
When they got away from the run, they wanted to do some cutesy stuff.
Or the Rams game too, until overtime.
Mm-hmm.
You got to feed your workhorses, your identity.
Maybe, and I don't know why, but maybe they lost confidence in the run. But you're ahead.
You can't.
When you're ahead, normally you run the football.
That's the time to run the football.
Right.
Like the second half, if they had done half of what they did in the first half, you control the clock. They don't even get a chance. They let Chicago Bears hang around. Caleb Williams played well in the second half. What do you have, 3 touchdowns in the second half, 250-plus yards? But the defense kept losing players. They got tired because, again, this is, a game. They played a game 4 days ago. Muhammad, he stepped up. DJ Reader stepped up. Alim McNeill stepped up. But they're playing every snap. Za'Darius Smith, they're playing every snap at the end of the game. Yeah. Malcolm Rodriguez is out.
That's not a good situation because on the line, I don't know if you noticed, but there's fat guys on the line.
Big boys.
Fat, big bellies, big asses. Everything is big. They get tired. And normally what you do is you rotate these guys in. I play 3 plays, I rest 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. I play 3 plays, and then they rotate them in. Now, the Lions, you can't rotate people. Alim McNeill has to be on every play. DJ Reader has to be on every play.
Za'Darius Smith.
Yeah, Smith. So that's why I'm not confident against Green Bay.
It changes. You got to get to Jordan Love to make him make mistakes. He makes Caleb Williams like mistakes.
Correct.
When he's pressured and when things fall apart. If he has a clean pocket.
And in crunch time. There's there's a thing that I believe in sports. Like, you can, for the first 55 minutes a game, you can look like a world beater. I'm kicking your ass. I'm running around you. You can't stop me because I'm the man, right? Then the last 4 or 5 minutes, if the game is tight, it's like, woo, I'm not quite the man. Oh, this guy's a little bit better now than he was a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you choke. For instance, in the NBA, there was a running joke that when you take a shot in the first the first 40 minutes of a game, you're shooting a basketball. But if it's a 2-point game and it's the last 2 or 3 minutes, that basketball turns into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
In other words, it's more difficult to shoot. And yesterday, we saw the Bears just running up and down against the Lions, doing whatever they felt like doing.
Yeah.
But when it got tight at the end, the coach chokes, the quarterback chokes.
Even veteran Keenan Allen chokes.
Right. You got to have that moxie in the last 2 minutes of a game.
But, Terry, I was told that to make a good quarterback, you got to have legs. You got to be able to run and scramble, and you have to have a monster arm, be able to throw 60, 65 yards on a line. You have to do all these things. But why don't the people who tell me that talk about the importance of being calm at the end of a half or at the end of a game?
Because they don't understand that. Because
even if they call themselves like ball knowers and stuff.
yeah, I know. I hear I know more football than you.
Yeah.
But here's what the Lions are doing. They're sneaky little bastards. What the Lions are doing, they're doing things this year that are not supposed to happen. For instance, Jared Goff. He doesn't have that real strong arm. He's game managing, but it's working.
Effective.
So he's throwing darts right in front of the defense between the zones. That seems to be working. The other thing is you're not supposed to be able to sack the quarterback after you lose Aiden Hutchinson. How many sacks did I have yesterday? 5.
Amazing.
Right. If you're the Detroit Lions, you're not supposed to win 4 games in a row, let alone 10 games in a row.
And what did they do?
11-1.
You're not supposed to win on Thanksgiving Day.
And it happened yesterday.
Without, I don't want to say without much help from the refs, because there were some bad calls both ways, but you got to start thinking that how involved is Vegas in these calls and these decision makings? The conspiracy theorists are coming out of the woodworks.
I know they are, but I don't think
they're coming.
It was there yesterday because I would say most of the plays were against the Bears yesterday.
There were some bad ones.
So they don't want the Lions to win. They don't want the Lions to cover. Yesterday, Vegas won because the Lions only won by 3.
Weird.
Because everybody's got their money on it was 9.5. So Vegas screwed themselves if that's the case. So I just think officials made bad calls, and you can't say, "Oh, they're screwing the Lions." They screwed the Bears too.
They did. They did. It's the Vildor call at the end of the game. It's like,
right,
kind of soft, but maybe they just knew the Bears were going to bear.
Probably, and the horse collar, I think
that was a bad call.
That was a
good
bad
one.
call too.
Yeah, in fast motion, in full speed, fast motion, in full speed, it looked like his body came down like he was pulled down by his horse collar, but you look at it in slow motion, he didn't. No. His hand was just there.
Chase this.
Yes, I have been hearing over the last week or so that there's been a lot of money across the nation put on the Lions, whether that's week to week or whether they be future bets for Super Bowl success. Because of how well we've played over this season, Vegas has been actually losing money on the Lions is what I've been hearing.
Oh, yeah, they're screwed.
For a fact, yeah.
Vegas hates the Lions.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, like that Kindle Vildor call, like late in the game, pretty egregious. I mean, that definitely gives the chance to like keep it close for sure.
There's a line right from, at MGM in Vegas right
before yesterday. The Lions were 9-2 against the spread.
Oh, now they're 9-3.
9-3. That's still pretty damn good.
Side note: how jacked was the head referee when he was making calls? Dude, his triceps. That dude, that's a Dan Campbell guy.
Yeah, well,
That's a
he's
Dan
on
Campbell
national
guy.
TV. It's Thanksgiving. He's gonna show off.
Dude, he was the veins were bulging out of his arms. That's not a man you want to mess with. Not a man you want to mess with. You talked about the pressure. While they lost everybody, did you know that Za'Darius Smith had 8 pressures, Muhammad had 7, and Reader had 7? That all set or tied their season highs in pressures in that game. And it's only the second game that a team has had 3 players with 7+ pressures all season. They found a way without Hutch, like you said, without Levi O and Josh Paschal for most of that game. Those are big losses. They found a way to get pressure on Caleb all day long.
They did, but still disturbed by what happened in the second half. Now, do you know that there was a smattering of boos at Ford Field yesterday?
I didn't. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
What were people booing about?
Because the Bears were coming back and they thought the Lions were going to lose.
Boo who? Who cares? Is that
Well, if you're up 16-0 against a 4-7 team, you don't expect your team to lose.
No,
I
you
think
don't.
There was boos because the Bears had a good chance to win.
Yeah, but they weren't. They didn't win. They weren't.
They probably thought it was going to happen.
How about why not just support your team? Have faith in your team.
I agree with booing bad football, but I'm going to say this: this Lions team this year has earned enough NFL points or whatever bucks for not to be booed this year. And if they
Agreed.
lose to Green Bay, should not be booed.
Agreed.
If they lose to the Bills, should not be booed. If they had lost yesterday, should not be booed. You can be agitated, but what this team has given this community, what they've given everything to the NFL, shouldn't be booed.
Yes.
Ever.
Javi Baez should be
Boo.
booed.
Boo his ass. If you see him walking down the street, boo him.
Boo him.
And his kids.
Stafford's kids.
Right. Boo him.
Boo.
Right.
Depending on how you feel, Tigers ownership,
Boo.
sometimes you got to boo to make change.
Correct.
Not boo because the team is struggling in one quarter or one half of one game of an 11-1 season. That's where you rally around your team.
Correct.
Lions fans, it's new. It's new to them. It's new to us.
Now, if the Lions were 5-6 or something and blowing a game, yeah, boo their ass. Because you had expectations this year. So yeah, I believe in booing because booing makes change.
It does. It does. You have something to say, Chase?
Oh, Chase was booing.
Chase was booing. You were a booer? No, Chase wouldn't
I
be
was
booing.
just kidding.
Yesterday, I never boo the Lions. No. I definitely boo the Bears, though. I was definitely active in the live chats. There was Doug who kept piping up, trying to chirp and root for his Bears, and Sticky Nansen just kept popping up like, "Where's Doug? Where's Doug? Where's Doug?" Looking for him, in the post game show.
Those are the moments where those fans come out of the woodwork. Whether they're Bears fans in hiding or SOL Lions fans who still live among us. They're still out there, Terry.
Well,
that game, SOL would have lost.
The Lions have actually cleared the final hurdle of no more SOL in my mind. This season was the last hurdle because when the Lions were good in the 90s, what they would do is they win 10 games, they'd win 9, they'd win 10, 11 games or something. And then when they had the first place schedule, then they win 5 games. They have the quote unquote the first place schedule this year. They're 11-1. To me, that was the last bastion of same old Lions.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. And this was that stretch where if they're going to lose a game, maybe it's the Texans, maybe it's Thanksgiving against the Bears. Like 11-1, here they are. They're here.
Right.
The Lions are here, and they're Super Bowl on the mind. Now it's just getting over these damn injuries.
Yeah, that's the bad part right there. And that could bite them in the because a few weeks ago we talked about the most optimistic Lion fans thought that they would finish 14-3. And then I said a few weeks ago, okay, they're 8-1, they're 9-1, pick 2 losses the rest of the season. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But now you might be able to because of these injuries. And the whole thing, well, next man up. But it keeps going game after game after game after game.
There's no next man to come up. Khalil Dorsey was in the game at the end of the game with a bad ankle because there was nobody else.
I didn't even know he was still on the team. And I saw him out there. So what the hell is going on here?
I'd rather have him out there than Kindle Vildor, if I'm being honest.
Vildor, when he's on the field, that's trouble.
Yeah. I will say he did well yesterday. He did fine yesterday. The penalty just highlighted him.
How about he wasn't an embarrassment? How about that?
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that. Khalil Dorsey, neither of them should be playing. It is what it is. But Khalil Dorsey had to play even when he was hurt because there was nobody else. Mosley was out. They had nobody else on the roster. Do they go out and get Jerry Jacobs?
And I'd try.
Or somebody. We kept talking all offseason. Do they add another cornerback to the room? Do they go get Stephon Gilmore?
Have they brought in like 50 cornerbacks in the last year?
It seemed like that was their deepest unit, and all of a sudden, I do think we'll get Carlton Davis back next week, which will be massive. Terrion Arnold should be healthier, so hopefully that's not as much of a problem. But that front seven, especially if Rodrigo has to miss time, this is where you start to worry about that front seven able to impact a Jordan Love, a Josh Allen, those types of quarterbacks. I rock with Ben Neiman. David Long's playing all right. Jack Campbell, but it's a little different with Anzalone and Rodrigo and Germ and Hutch and Davenport and Kaminsky.
We're talking about how the injuries on defense. But you know who's healthy? The offense.
True.
But not as efficient as they were a few weeks ago. They're still gashing you. They're still making big plays. They're still turning 3 and 4 yard gains into pretty good plays.
Yeah.
They're still getting first downs. They're still putting up big yardage. But that red zone was awful yesterday.
Yeah. That was it.
We talk about stamping somebody out. They were unable to stamp the Bears out because the Bears, man, were outplayed, outclassed, out everything in the first half. And they look up, they're going to the locker room with their heads down, and they look up at the scoreboard and like, oh, shoot, we're only down 2 scores.
Yeah. Not bad.
We can do this.
Even the one thing Eberflus got right yesterday was his interview before halftime says, I think our offense is about to pop. I don't know about you. I laughed. Like, okay, dude.
Well, you got to say that. There's certain things in sports you got to do. You got to give your team confidence. You got to give your fans confidence. You got to be optimistic. Plus, this is a dude that, his life is on the line. He could be fired by the Bears. Even before his mess up at the end, he was on the hot seat.
Yeah.
So he's got to show some optimism that, hey, we're not giving up. We're still in this. I'm going to do my best to get my guys going, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Steve Wilds in the chat says it was Tampa Bay all over again. Ben Johnson got cute with this play calling in the second half. There might be some truth to that. I don't know what Bears ownership.
But I will say this. When he's cute and it works, we don't say anything.
No, right. Oh, speaking of. That reverse to Penei Sewell.
Oh my God!
It's got to be the loudest a crowd has ever cheered for a negative play.
Right, but you know what I was happy about? Penei Sewell just ate it.
Yeah.
He didn't try to throw up some goofy pass. He just said, "Okay, this ain't working, so I'm just going to take my sack."
Yeah.
We were talking about the next line player to throw a pass.
You said it.
I said Penei Sewell.
You said it. I thought he would be the one catching a pass.
Yeah, but he had his gloves on and everything. I don't think the Bears were fooled by that. What he was looking at downfield, whoever he was looking at was covered.
Yeah.
So a lineman, when you give him a play and says you have a pass play and it's not open, they say, fuck it, I'm passing anyway.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell did not. He said, okay, it's not there, didn't work, I'll take my sack and we'll live another day.
Yeah. And I think you're underplaying taking a sack because he made it as difficult to bring him down as you could make it.
Oh, yeah, you can't tackle that guy.
The first guy that he stiff-armed into the dirt, I guess into the turf, disgusting. I saw a stat, I think Bleacher Report and the 33rd team put it out. I don't know if it's 100% true, but what they said was on the season, Penei Sewell hasn't allowed a sack all season, but he's been sacked one time this season.
He's allowed a couple sacks.
Yeah, I know. The one against Houston where he did look kind of silly on Danico Autry. He forced a fumble or forced a interception on Jared Goff. But I do remember earlier in the season he gave up a sack, right?
Yeah, he did. He was on roller skates.
Yeah. I can't remember what play it was, but nonetheless, he's been sacked once, and the dude never gives up sacks.
Right.
Special. What about Jamo hurdling over that one defender?
That was impressive.
The dude got up.
You know what? Normally, when you hurdle somebody, they're crouched down. My man was standing up for the most part, and Jamo still hurdled him.
And went all, completely over him. Not, just in between his legs and, the guy's ducking to try to tackle him. He went over. He was a state championship hurdler.
And hurdled the
Yeah,
300 meter,
record.
300, whatever it is.
In St. Louis.
They don't do yards anymore. We
No.
used to do yards. Y'all do meters now.
I think the track's always been meters.
No. It used to be yards.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Young boy.
Well, Terry, 5 minutes left in the show. What are you thinking about going into next week against Green Bay?
I have a bad feel about that game.
I sense it over there.
Too many injuries. 3 games in 12 days. That's not a good look. I think it's going to be an ugly game.
Prime time.
And it's prime time, and Green Bay wants their revenge.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions got the revenge in Green Bay a couple years ago. I think Green Bay is going to really want to pay the Lions back.
They want to pay him back, and they're still in it. They're trying.
They'll be more motivated than the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Well, you would think they should be, but Dan Campbell's the coach of the Lions.
I know, but even Dan Campbell's not going to be able to overcome this one.
I was. Sorry.
LaFleur is a good coach.
Oh, LaFleur.
LaFleur. He's not going to. If Green Bay is up, he's not going to screw the game up like Eberflus.
Oh man, I think Jordan Love's healthier now. It's going to be a tough game. I think Dan Campbell's going to have him ready, but this might be one of those. I wish they had the 10 days off before this Packers game. I wish almost, not it could be flipped with the Bills, but wish we had our 10 days off now. And I'm almost wishing we had that 18-game schedule already where we could have our second bye week just to get some extra time to get some guys back. I was impressed with Dan Skipper yesterday. Mm-hmm. He played really well.
He was not an embarrassment.
Didn't hear his name called too often.
Right.
Which is what you want.
Well, it seems like if people get their playing time, they get their reps, except for Vildor, that there's a lot of improvement. And we saw that from Skipper.
We did. So that was good to see. Chase, how you feeling about the Packers game coming up?
I'm still feeling confident. I think, honestly, some of our injuries, I think maybe the guys could have played, but they decided, this is a Bears team that has lost 5 in a row. We think we can handle them with whoever we have on the roster. So why not let some of our more important pieces on defense who see a little bit more snap percentage get healthy for a few extra days.
Yeah.
And use this as a half bye week for Green Bay, which a little bit more of an important division game. Not that Chicago, still an NFC North game, but we all see where they're standing. They're sitting in the standings. So.
Yeah. Terry Demon Dice in the chat. And I forgot he's a Bears loyalist, showing back up with after that mess of a game last night. But he says Lions paid Goff top QB money. An average QB could do Goff's job for less money on this team. Goff overrated. All this for his number 1 offensive line, offensive talent, 2 good running backs, Dan, Ben, and almost threw 8 interceptions versus the Texans.
But then he goes
What?
8 games without an interception.
Yeah.
He did the
Cool.
thing when we analyze Jared Goff, we only look at the bad stuff. We don't break down. He went 8 games without an interception. He passes 80%. Who in the hell in the NFL completes 80% of their passes?
Nobody.
I don't care what kind of line you got. I don't care. You could have Jerry Rice and Herman Moore and Megatron as your wide receivers. You don't throw 80%. Complete 80% of your passes. So he's doing things the other guys don't do. And you know what? You could get a more talented quarterback with the Lions in the same situation and not get the same production because They're like, I'm not willing to check down. I need to make more plays. And ultimately, when you do that, you could create more turmoil, more interceptions, more bad plays for the offense.
Yeah.
So Jared Goff is a guy who refuses to play hero ball. But if you get a guy in here who wants to play hero ball and show I'm the man, then it could be a detriment.
And it works out so perfect because Demon Dice has that dude in Chicago. They drafted him first overall because they're an idiot franchise.
One more thing, you have to pay your quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't just keep rotating low-priced quarterbacks and hope to win. They're in it to win a Super Bowl this year. Not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now, today. So you pay your quarterback.
Yeah. They paid him top QB money. He's already the 6th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. In about 6 months, he'll probably be outside of the top 10.
Right.
And by the time Caleb Williams is in his 3rd, 4th year and the Bears overpay him, he'll be the top paid quarterback in the league.
Jordan Love's going to get overpaid.
He already has.
Caleb Williams will get overpaid.
Trevor Lawrence has gotten overpaid.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah. I'll take Jared Goff over any of them.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Weird what happens when a quarterback likes to hang on to it in the pocket like Caleb Williams. That's hurt the Bears multiple times this year.
So you got to make a decision. You either pay your quarterback or you lose him.
Yeah. What the Lions do, they paid him.
Right. And then you don't pay him, then you see him go to Minnesota or go somewhere and win and start beating your team.
Yeah.
Are you going to feel good about that?
No.
Hell no.
No. Well, at least Caleb Williams broke the rookie record for Bears quarterbacks, throwing for more than 12 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah. He's good. He almost had his season ended because of that cheap shot from Jack Campbell.
It was not a cheap shot, Terry. That was not a cheap shot. I will not agree with you on that. But it is 7:52, Terry. We got to let Wake Up Woodward take the studio. Everybody tune in, Wake Up Woodward with Kool-Aid, Flannel, Justin, Chase, JB. KG's coming in.
They're starting to hover, so that means we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we got to go. But we got a full lineup of shows all day on this day after Thanksgiving. This was Woodward and Maine. That's my co-host, Mr. Terry Foster. Like to thank Chase. Like to thank JB. We'll be back next Thursday morning.
Correct.
8:15 p.m. game, but we'll be here at 7 a.m. next Thursday.
Oh, yeah. We got to get you all lathered up.
We get a little lubricated early.
And then we'll break down whatever happens next Thursday.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Hang tight. 7 minutes from now, Wake Up Woodward starts. This was Woodward and Maine. Have a great Friday.
Bye.